Denise Butchko, and I'm here with Christian Smedberg and Joseph DeCasparis because Joseph actually attended KBIS, had a great question about marketing that is really more of an expertise for Christian, and so we're coming together. Joseph, why don't you go ahead and ask that question?
Sure. So I am with Papa's Barn, which is a reclaimed wood company, and we just launched our e-commerce site about 2 months ago, and our biggest question has been, how do we instill consumer confidence when they are buying a larger ticket item, sight unseen?
Joseph, great question. And a lot of e-commerce sites have the same question. So there are some best practices that you can put on your site, such as testimonials and reviews. But then there are some other ways that we can instill confidence in our specific market niche. But let's start with big general ideas. So when we're talking about confidence, we like reviews, we like testimonials, we like things coming from other people, right? From our customer base. But what you want to do is you want to analyze your site traffic to make sure that you're putting those reviews and those testimonials where they're actually seen by people who are going to be buying. So this might be on the shopping cart page. A lot of e-commerce sites do that. Now, if you have a larger ticket item, you might want to put it maybe one step before the actual checkout process starts, because when they see that price tag, they might, say, "Oh, I don't know about that. That's a whole lot of money for somebody who I don't know anything about." So bump up those reviews and bump up those testimonials to maybe the product page, and put a sidebar on the product page with with a scrolling banner of reviews or testimonials. I would also say look into third-party review sites. So any kind of objective like an Ecommerce or a Trustpilot, those types of platforms seem to carry more weight for consumers because they are thought of as more objective, because they're not from your site, they're from a third-party site. So look at that, look at your website traffic and just see, okay, where are people exiting? Do I have a mass exit on my product pages? Put those reassurances in those places. Now, with that said, you also, with our industry, you're working with reclaimed wood, and there's a lot of question marks with reclaimed wood. Where does it come from, and what can I actually do about it? And when I get it, are there going to be bugs in it, right? Like there's all these, questions that if you haven't worked with it for, a period of time, and you've never seen it, or maybe you've only seen it once, you just don't know really what you're going to get. So make sure that you have plenty of good informational content on your site that's not just promoting your product, but addressing, potential concerns that your customers have about the actual product. So in a sense, you're justifying the price tag, but you're not talking about price at all, right? You're talking about the product, and you might have a concern about this, that, or the other about the product, and I'm going to address those. So you're putting content on your site that's addressing potential concerns. The last thing I'm going to say about this is you want to spell out that process of buying your product. Okay, so if they buy a product from you, and your product, you're going to be selling it from by the square foot, and it's going to take a period of time, and they're going to place the order online, and then at some point you're going to mill it, and then at some point you're going to ship it, and at some point it's going to get delivered, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, they don't know your process. When they're buying on your website, you have to spell out step by step. When you press submit, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get an email at this point saying this is what's happening, and you're going to get an email at this point, and you can look at your order at this point. And if you need to cancel or edit your order, you have X amount of hours or days or whatever to do that. So spell all that out so they feel really comfortable, and they say, hey, when I press that submit button, I know exactly what's going to happen. I don't feel like I'm just going to throw out a PO into cyberspace and hope for the best, right? So really just spell out everything that's going to happen in their, in their experience, in their shopping experience, and then follow through on it, obviously. And if anything varies from that, you're going to be sending, emails or notifications to them if that happens. But that will also help their confidence level just rise up and feel really good about, okay, I'm fine with spending this much money on this product. And I hope that helps.
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense on so many levels, and just instilling that consumer confidence by getting their friends to be the advocates for the product, not us.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. In fact, I think, Denise, we did something about advocacy, didn't we?
We did. We have a whole webinar about it.
Yeah, we did. And Joseph, you're absolutely right. Creating brand advocates, helps tremendously. So I assume that you guys have a customer base currently.
Yes.
Being able to tap in, and Denise, I'll get you to talk a little bit more about this, but being able to tap into those current customers to become advocates and instill confidence in potential customers is definitely a benefit that you should take advantage of. But Denise, maybe you can kind of give a little synopsis of what we talked about when it came to advocacy and having that conversation with your current clientele.
That you can do that one-on-one. You can do that in a more mass approach. I'm having a lot of good experiences with a one-on-one approach, whether that's creating a video email and making a request for whether that's a testimonial or, information or insight or help on something that I need help with. So that those people can then, if you're asking them for that, you're telling them specifically what you want them to do. I mean, in my case, without it being an e-commerce site, I ask people to put my recommendations or testimonials on LinkedIn, because then I have them where I know I can get them. And if I want to transfer them to my website or something, I can do so. In this case, with you, Joseph, I would think about how, target some people to get this thing going. And actually, if you can document that experience, whether they'll send it back in writing or they'll do some kind of video, either themselves, pictures, anything that gives positive reinforcement about how great this product is, what a wonderful experience they had with it, and play into their own, I want to show this off.
Yeah.
People do home improvements. It's usually a chunk of money. And even if it's not, they're still very proud of it. And so you want to catch them, and we like to catch them before the closet is too messy. So you catch them at a good point when it's all pretty and they're excited, because then that also, if they're posting that kind of thing, that's reaching out to their own fan base as well.
Yeah. Denise, would you say that, from the start of the selling process of whatever you're selling, whether it be even on an e-commerce site or say a closet, when do you introduce that idea of, okay, when this transaction is finished, I want an endorsement? When do you bring that into the conversation? In the first consult, when I'm in the place and it's a mess and I'm taking before pictures, then it's oh my God, this is going to look so great on Facebook, or, this is going to be an amazing project and it's my privilege to do it. And, is it going to be okay if I take pictures and we talk about it after the fact? So that I start to open them up and I get a feel for where they are in their, digital landscape, how they engage with people, what their level of participation it is. Often if it's someone who's very, conservative and much older, they're probably not jumping on Facebook to do it, but other people, you kind of play that on an individual basis so that it kind of leads them through as you're going. Right. And so Joseph has as much of a chance to do that. Well, Joseph, I think as it relates to your process, I would assume that your e-commerce site is sending out transactional emails. Yes. Whether it's order confirmations or shipping confirmations or whatever, those transactional emails are perfect places to try to catch brand advocates, to try to convert your customers into advocates. Yes. So those would be places where you just put just a little banner on the bottom, maybe in the footer, or maybe in the header saying, enjoy your experience, share on Facebook, and just have links in those transactional emails that, that encourages your customer to take the next level and actually advocate your brand. And then obviously, once they advocate the brand, you take that and you plug it back into your site to instill confidence for your not yet customers. So it's kind of, circular.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that sounds spot on too. So that's exciting. We'll see what we could do with that, especially even going back to what you're talking about, the separate review sites.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sure.
Never even thought of that.
Yep, absolutely.
It was not even because we were just pulling from Facebook because we want it to look good. But if there's that separate kind of credible source,
absolutely,
that's going to help too.
Well, great. Well, I'm glad that we were able to help you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.